Peace Prize are interconnected. The vision of Alfred Nobel was one of progress through science and the search for truth and greater knowledge. It was also a vision of sound literature, enlightening and feeding the spirit, and of peace, which is so essential for safety and prosperity. Alfred Nobel's support of science, literature and peace reflect his conviction that those pursuits were the keys to a better world. At the core of his vision was the belief that talented and committed individuals can make a difference. I have the immense pleasure this year of recognizing Ales Bialiatski, the organization Memorial and the Center for Civil Liberties as the champions of peace, who, by different means but for a common goal, have conferred the greatest benefit to humankind. For this, each is being awarded a 1/3 share of the Nobel Peace Prize for 2022. When announcing our decision in October, the Norwegian Nobel Committee emphasized that the 3 laureates have promoted the right to criticize power and protect the fundamental rights of citizens. They have made an outstanding effort to document war crimes, human rights abuses, and abuse of power. Together, they demonstrate the significance of civil society for peace and democracy. A democratic government needs not only the support of its people, but also criticism, new ideas and new perspectives. Its ultimate source of authority is the people. History teaches us that even suppressed people will at some point defy the oppressor. Somebody will form a movement and speak up for more freedom, justice, democracy and rule of law. These rights and values are the framework that guarantees every citizen the right to hold an opinion and enjoy freedom of speech and freedom of organisation. Our 3 laureates share this conviction. They have a common approach to exposing oppression and perpetrators of war crime. Their method is to systematically collect evidence of past and current human rights violations and war crimes. The purpose is to hold perpetrators accountable, to honour the victims, and to prevent the repetition of atrocities. Reliable evidence is of vital importance, not only for a legal process, but also for historical documentation and moral restoration of the victim's perspective. This brings me to the first of our 3 laureates, Ales Bialiatski. The Belarusian government has for years tried to silence him. He has been harassed, he has been arrested and jailed, and he has been deprived of employment. Mr. Bialiatski is by profession a scholar of literature, and words have been his weapon ever since he was one of the initiators of the democracy and human rights movement in Belarus in the 1980s. He is the founder of Vyasna, an organization that initially documented abuse against protesters, but soon developed into a human rights organization. For more than 20 years, Viasna has documented abuse and torture against activists and political opponents of the dictatorship in Belarus. The organization identifies victims, keeps track of where they are serving sentences, and monitors their treatment. In July 2021, all of Viasna's offices were searched and its leaders were arrested. At this moment, our thoughts are with all prisoners of conscience in Belarus, and most particularly, we think of Ales Bialiatski in his dark and isolated prison cell in Minsk. And Ales, you are not alone. We stand with you, and we thank your wife, Natalia.